Hey, Blitzball Champ, back at you with a brand new video for all my subscribers, all my fans out there. Have a special guest for this video tonight. Meet darkquiet,
Hello, everybody.
my best friend,
That's me.
ever since 2011.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long.
All right, let's get to work.
Indeed. So, y'all are in for a special treat tonight. So, back in November of 2016, I pre-ordered something really special that I've been looking forward to ever since it got announced for the US. Here we have the Final Fantasy trading card game. It is broken down, this first edition is broken down into 3 starter sets. We first have the Final Fantasy VII starter set, which is the Fire and Earth set. Next, we have the Final Fantasy X set, which is the Wind and Water set. And then, last but not least, we have the Final Fantasy XIII set, which is Lightning and Ice. So this originally debuted in Japan and was just recently released for the UK and for America for the English version. So each of these starter decks have a pre-constructed deck of 50 cards, a game map, and a quick starter guide in order to be able to learn how to play the game. So first, we're going to unbox the Final Fantasy VII Fire and Earth starter kit.
So here you have the instructions.
Yeah, this is your quick start game guide. Pretty much this will break down how to play the game, the labels on each of the cards, and how to attack, how to defend, breaking down each type of card. It's two-sided, so definitely handy for when you're traveling to play anybody on the go.
As you can see, it's ordered into field zones, flow of the game. Then you have attack and battles. You also have party attacks. You also get extra information on other media or other merchandise that you can buy. It seems to be well written, easy to read, and luckily it's not in Japanese.
Right on.
Also on the other side, where it begins the starter guide, so sorry to start from the back there, you have what is the FFTCC, how to read a card. For those who can't read, do not apply. How to play a card and abilities.
Alrighty. And for this next piece, we have the actual playing map. So this is what you'll use to play the game on. It's one-on-one. The opponent will also have a game map just like this. You have your main playing field in the middle. You have your deck where you put the deck of 50 cards that you plan to use for the game. You have the break zone, which any cards that are destroyed or broken go there. And you also have your damage zone, where you put any cards that represent damage done to the player. So this is where all the action is on this front side. And on the back side, this details the starter decks in general, based on element and type of cards that are in each starter deck. So this is a little bit more detailed information, but pretty cool. So without further ado, let's get into the cards. Alrighty, here we are with the Fire and Earth deck, which is a very aggressive deck, but let's see what you got there. Looks like you got the Red 13 card. Alrighty, there's another great character to use in Final Fantasy VII. He's a forward. When Red 13 enters the field, choose one forward. It gains plus 3,000 power until the end of the turn. Has the ability Cosmo Memory, deals 6,000 damage to all the forwards the opponent controls. Jeez, that's insane.
Cloud.
How can you talk about Final Fantasy VII and not mention Cloud? He's a forward. The cost required to play Cloud into the field is reduced by 1 for each Category 7 forward you control. Each time a forward you control attacks, it gains plus 1,000 power until the end of the turn, and it has the ability Climb Hazard, which is choose one forward and deal it 8,000 damage. Power card.
Biggs.
Biggs. Ah, here we go. Biggs. This is a Earth Element card. It's a backup. When a backup you control is put from the field into the break zone, deal 1,000 damage to all the forwards the opponent controls.
Wedge.
Wedge. Here we go. Wedge. Another Earth card. Backup. When Wedge enters the field, you may search for one card named Biggs and add it to your hand. So you get Wedge, you can search for Biggs.
Barrett.
Barrett. The man with the gun arm. He's a forward. He has the ability Grenade Bomb. Deal 2,000 damage to all the forwards the opponent controls. Pretty straightforward.
Tifa.
Tifa. It's a fire card. She's a forward. She has the ability Water Kick. Choose one forward, dull it, and deal 6,000 damage. Water Kick is her level, her first level 2 limit break in Final Fantasy VII.
Vincent.
Vincent Valentine. One of the secret characters you can acquire in Final Fantasy VII. Oops, spoiler alert. Forward. When Vincent attacks, Vincent gains first strike until the end of the turn.
Jessie.
Jessie, also part of the Avalanche team. She's a backup. When Jessie enters the field, you may search for one Category 7 forward and add it to your hand.
Zangan.
Zangan, the martial arts master that taught Tifa all that she knows, pretty much. He's a backup. He has EX Burst. When Zangan enters the field, you may search for one card named Tifa and add it to your hand. The card named Tifa of cost 4 or less you control gains haste.
Squire.
Squire. Standard unit. She's a forward. Not a whole lot to her. She's from Final Fantasy Tactics, but female Squire.
Ifrit.
Or Ifrit. It's a fire summon. Has EX Burst. Choose one forward, deal it 4,000 damage. All about that fire.
Magus.
Magus. He's a backup. When Magus enters the field, deal 3,000 damage to all the forwards the opponent controls. Did you do that one? Okay.
Black Mage.
Black Mage. It's a backup. You can put Black Mage into the break zone, and choose one forward, deal it 4,000 damage.
Samurai.
Samurai, one of my favorite job classes in Final Fantasy Tactics. This samurai is a forward. It has Brave. Attacking does not cause this forward to dull.
Bahamut Fury.
Bahamut Fury, or some people like to say Bahamut, but it's a summon card. It has EX Burst. Choose one forward. You may discard one card from your hand. If you do so, deal it 7,000 damage. If not, deal it 5,000 damage. So it's all up to you how you want to use that.
Evoker.
Evoker. Not really much to him. It's a standard unit, and he's a backup. A lot of those type of cards you want to maybe discard and give yourself the crystal points for that element in order to be able to use other cards.
Golem.
Golem. It's a Earth card. It's a summon. Has EX Burst. Choose one forward. It gains plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. If it is blocking, it gains plus 4,000 power until the end of the turn instead.
Monk.
The Monk, the male Monk class from Final Fantasy Tactics. He's a backup, which kind of surprises me. Put Monk into the break zone. Choose one forward. It gains plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight. It's a forward. Oh, this is a female Dark Knight. For each point of damage you have received, you as the player, the Dark Knight gains plus 1,000 power.
Black Belt.
Black Belt. This character is from Final Fantasy III. He's a forward. Not really a whole lot to him, but yeah, he's an Earth forward.
And that concludes the deck.
And that concludes the Final Fantasy VII starter deck, which is Fire and Earth. Thank you very much, and be sure to tune in for the next part, which we will go into the Final Fantasy X starter deck, which is a wind and water deck.
See you soon.